This is S&P 500. So what happened last week? So last week was somewhere around here. So that was, I think, 1st of the November. So that was actually the bar here. So 1st of November. And that was actually pending the Fed announcement. So the rate hike. So the FOMC actually just dragged down the market. So last time I sort of talked about there was an analog right here. So that's comparable to the low that we saw in May and June right here. So there was an uptrust happen, and that was triggered by, I think, probably the CPI announcement. So at the moment, this is a similar structure. This is to the bearish side. So we've got a selling climax, automatic rally, also a spring type of action, just a temporary commitment. We saw the demand tail, and then spring it subsequently just kickstart the rally. But the rally did not really commit above. So there was this reversal bar out from the FOMC last week. So that was certainly a reversal bar. However, right now it's sort of having a test. So we got an action and we got a test at the moment. So I think the key event for this week will be the CPI. So you can definitely tell that CPI is a huge thing for this year. So that was triggered by CPI. I believe this was also CPI. So CPI is certainly quite amazing for the past few events. So we definitely would like to wait for the announcement for the CPI. I think that should be coming this Thursday. So definitely watch out for the CPI announcement. So right now probably I think that the midterm election will also cause some form of the volatility, but I wouldn't be betting on too much on the midterm election, because to me CPI is really the thing rather than the midterm election. So anyway, last week that was actually dragged down by the FOMC. So we still have a hawkish Fed. So the Fed is still have a hawkish tone right there, and I think the rate hike is unavoidable, and they are still very hawkish, and it's going to just keep raising the rate to whatever that's satisfied, or at least to curb the inflation. So at the moment, I think that is certainly kind of a reversal of the upswing, because last time I talked about 3800, but if we really want to go into detail, so let's just dive straight into the hourly time frame. So you can definitely tell from the hourly time frame, these two bars are crucial. So these were the two bars that actually break down the structure. So we got some form of the structure right here. So we got, probably you can call it a bit of the uptrust, and we got some form of the support right here. And this is certainly the rejection, and there's a breakdown. And also that is kind of the axis line. So where we see that there is previous resistance become support, test, shakeout, and there is also another breakdown. So I think this bar is actually very important, or at least this two bar right here. But first we want to just focus on one bar. So let's just focus on this bar. So this is certainly the breakdown bar. So break below the 3850, and also this is subsequently this bar right here is actually breakdown of this level. So that's somewhere close to the 3800. So I will just use 3800 for this reason, like a round number. But you can see that right after this action, so this is like a action impulsive wave down, and right now we got some form of the corrective wave. So the wave is not that impulsive as the one that we saw in this downswing. So this is a test of this current downswing. So we need to see whether it could really commit above for a bullish case. So commit above where? So this is the level that first it needs to commit above 3850. So if it could do that, like have some kind of the shallow reaction, there's still a chance go back and have another test, so all the way back to 3800. So I think this is kind of very bullish. But if it just fail right at 3850, or even just prior to 3850, probably somewhere around here, then certainly this is not looking good at all. And I think the CPI should be the event to trigger. And at the moment, the swing is still down. So short-term swing is still down if based on the daily chart or even the hourly chart. So this is the current swing that we are having right now. So swing is still down. And if I want to say this is still an uptrust, right? So we just use the swing high. So this is a swing high. And at the moment, this whole chunk right here is uptrust. So it's just a temporary commitment, and eventually this is the failure bar. Fail below, commit below. Right now it's an attempt to commit above and have a test. So this is certainly a test. So we need to see whether it could commit above the level of the axis line. So at the moment, I am still having the bearish bias. So I think that if it could reverse from here, let's say whether it's 38.30 or even inch up a bit more and then just reverse, then we should see S&P 500 to test prior swing low like 3600. So whether it will break down from here, not too sure. So we need to see whether it could do something like this, very shallow type of the rally or very weak rally, and eventually it will break down. So right now, very short term is probably up, but this swing is down. Okay, but if you want to take a look at this, is a trading range. Okay, so at the moment we probably stuck at somewhere around this trading range, 3600 all the way to probably 3900. So that is likely an uptrust. So short term, I'm still betting on a downswing, a reverse resume of the downswing. Probably will get triggered by the CPI this coming Thursday. All right. So at the moment, I think the key level that we need to watch out for, like I say, is the using the hourly time frame. Just probably stick to somewhere around here, 38.40 to about 38.50. So this is certainly, or maybe you can stretch it to 38.60. So this is the area that I am expecting some kind of the reversal action, or at least some kind of the reaction. So whether it will reach there, we don't know yet, but certainly this is the next resistance level ahead. All right. So just watch out for that, because if it happens to have a reversal right there, there's a very much a low risk entry, like a high reward to risk ratio, because your downside target could be at least to the swing low right here, while your stop is somewhere around here. So just put it somewhere above. So definitely, I think is 1 to 2 or 2 to 1. So you got a reward of 2 to about 1, a risk of a 1. So you risk $1 to earn $2. So right now, S&P 500 is still in a testing mode. We need to see whether it will have a reaction at the key level. So talking about the index, at the moment, Nasdaq is still a laggard. So as expected, I think a lot of the big tech, those mega tech, big tech like Facebook, Amazon, which we're going to do a case study shortly, and we'll know why Nasdaq is such a drag. And if you take a look at the Dow, so Dow is obviously a leader right here. So has been leading since this wave up. Okay, so this is up wave, and this is kind of a very shallow type of a reaction, and it already tested this bar. So this is the bar that you need to first overcome. We can definitely see that there's a fair bit of the distance from S&P 500, which is somewhere around here. So this is a bar, and for Russell is actually test about halfway of this bar. But for Nasdaq, look at this. It's very far away, right? So Nasdaq is still a laggard. And in fact, it looks very vulnerable. So if we just zoom in the Nasdaq 100, it's already in a breakdown mode, right? So that is certainly a breakdown. And we definitely see that there's very weak rally, another weak rally, and right now is probably attempt to break down, so touching the support level and attempt to bounce up as well. So there's still this big bearish bar, I think triggered by the FOMC. So Nasdaq certainly doesn't look good at all. So if you look at it this way, there's certainly a lot of the rotation going on. So rotation from where? So rotation out from this big tech. So a lot of the used to be a leadership like Facebook, or the FANG stocks like Netflix, Facebook, Amazon, Google. I think at the moment probably Apple is the strongest. But anyway, there's a lot of the rotation out from the big tech and into the so-called value. So Dow, I will consider Dow as value. They are all super mega cap, and it's pretty much got a lot of the value stocks, and definitely very strong rally. And there are quite a number of the small cap. I'm not sure whether it's in the Russell 2000, but certainly they are the small, or at least mid cap to small cap. So there are quite a number of them are doing very well. I will show you during the watch list section. And at the moment, so as usual, I think this is number 1, number 2, number 3, and the laggard is Nasdaq. Okay, so regarding the Bitcoin or crude oil, let's take a look at the Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is certainly kind of lack of aggressive demand. We can definitely tell from the volume. So from the volume signature, you can see that kind of the volume has been decreasing. So when the volume is decreasing, it simply means that there's decrease in both supply and demand. So there's not enough supply to push the price down, but there is also lack of a demand, or at least aggressive demand, something like this, to give a push up, another push up. So that's why we see that it's sort of just having an uptrust. So just a temporary commitment here, and then eventually just fail to commit above. So still not really There's nothing excited about the Bitcoin. So I think it's just a waiting game. So unless we see aggressive demand to push a price up, I think that the chance is to the downside. So likely it will just break below the key level like 18K or the immediate support level. So it doesn't really need a lot of the supply to push a price down. So it's just like gravity, it will slowly drift down the price. So once it's break below the key level, and it will trigger some kind of the momentum to the downside. I think the next level of the support will be around 15K. So that's just simply based on the previous charts, previous support level, pretty much somewhere around here. So 15K is the first level of the support. If you want to catch my latest videos, click on the subscribe button and the bell right now so that you get instant notification once I upload my latest video. If you want to check out my online courses, go to tradeprecise.com to find out how to profit consistently from any market without using complex indicator or understanding any financial statement, no matter you are trading or investing.